Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. U.S. consumer prices increased more than expected in March as Americans continue to pay more for gasoline and rental housing. The shipping industry's pledge to limit its carbon footprint may suffer a setback as the current Red Sea crisis prompts it to use more vessels and take longer routes to ensure the smooth sailing of global maritime trade. Houthi militant attacks on vessels passing through the southern Red Sea have choked trade through the Suez Canal. The National Transportation Safety Board is conducting a new round of interviews with Boeing and Federal Aviation Administration personnel this week in its probe into the January Alaska Airlines 737 MAX 9 in-flight emergency. Uber is boosting its safety features for passengers around the world, including encrypted audio recordings, PIN verification, and live location sharing. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, Newman, Sharpsburg, Franklin, LaGrange.
The House of Light brings clarity to your soul, offering a safe space for healing through our compassionate practitioners, services, classes, and wisdom, plus the tools to support you in our retail space.
When you hear music, do the lyrics speak to you on a deeper level? I'm Bruce Thornton. Join me and Donna Wood every Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. on WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, for our show Lyrical Wisdom. Every week we will dive into the lyrics of songs and uncover hidden messages that we hope will leave you feeling inspired and enlightened. We know that our ideas may not always line up with yours, so this show will be an open discussion. Email us with ideas for songs at lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. Let's share some wisdom together.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
It's now time for the House of Light presents The Wisdom Cafe, each and every week at this time on 99.1 FM WQEE. Here's this week's special.
Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning.
And good morning, all of you present for the House of Light's Wisdom Cafe. Welcome, welcome. So happy to have you here listening today. How do you feel? Do you feel any different after that earth-shattering event on Monday?
Actually, I do. I think there's a lot of positives that came out.
I do too.
I really do. I think a lot of positive stuff has come out, a lot of positive vibes. I think a lot of people are doing things. I think some negative vibes are coming out because the people are causing it themselves.
Oh, bingo.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. It makes me giggle because so much, you're right, there was a lot of negativity flying around that beautiful celestial event when the sun and the moon marry each other.
Yes.
They come together as one. It was quite fascinating because for me, the sun is very representative of masculine energy,
right,
and the moon is very representative of feminine energy.
Oh, okay.
So what it is it's a marriage in the sky. And when we can begin to understand that and see that as coming together inside of us, pulling in that masculine and feminine energy,
right,
and balancing it as one.
Right.
If you were anywhere present within the totality of an eclipse,
yes,
in my opinion, you cannot help but be changed.
True.
I drove with my daughter and her family to Arkansas.
Really?
To witness the totality.
Wow.
I've never seen a total eclipse.
Right.
In 2017, we
Right.
had one.
Right.
But here in Georgia, it's only about 80%.
It was 81%,
Yeah, same this year.
Yeah.
So I I wanted to see a total eclipse, something in my body.
Total eclipse of the sun? Sounds like a
Yes.
song.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
It was, I tell you, I wept, as
Awesome.
did my daughter and my grandson.
Oh.
He turned around and he goes, I feel like crying. And I looked at him, I said, go ahead, join me, as tears were streaming
Right.
down my face. I cannot describe the beauty that was emanating from that dark hole.
Well, I
in
like to
front
hear
of the
this
sun.
story. I like hearing this story, Donna, because there were so many, not so many, but there were some negative comments coming out about this, and people just having a negative attitude towards it. And even with us only having 81%, people having that, I'm sitting here going, well, if you didn't want to look at it, don't look at it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And to hear that it touched you guys so much, and you actually went to the center where it was just to experience it, and it touched you guys that much, is awesome to see or awesome to hear, because there were so many people that just were like having terrible attitudes about it. I'm like, if you don't want to have, it's like, if you don't want a hamburger and you want chicken tonight, eat chicken, don't eat hamburger. That's what, it's a choice. You don't have to.
That is so true. And the beautiful thing I heard, because I do enjoy listening,
Right.
as you all do, because you're obviously listening here on the radio. I too enjoy listening to others and what wisdom they have to share.
Right.
And I did listen to an indigenous chief speak about the eclipse and how it is so sacred to them that they go inside. They go in their, well, it was teepees in the beginning. Now most of them have homes things like that.
Of course. Not a nation, yes.
That is their way of...
It's a rebirth.
Yes.
It is
They
for them.
go
Yeah.
inside and they do not look at the eclipse. They call it the death of the sun. So I honor that. And I'm not, everybody has their own way of being in this world.
Right.
And learning to become sovereign and be able to make choices according to what your spirit is asking you to do is the key.
Exactly.
And right. So, I honored the indigenous, the fact that they went inside and they choose not to look at it and not to physically be in the energy.
Right.
Something inside my spirit was calling me, and obviously I too was changed from this eclipse, because what I witnessed during those 4 minutes of totality, because I could take my glasses off and just look, and the diamond white crystalline light that surrounded that, it was so dark. That black center.
Right.
The moon asking, anyone who was witnessing her in that moment of her, this is what we, look at the darkness, look at your shadow, because when you do that, what comes out is beautiful.
Yes.
The white light. I always thought, pictures and everything, and they talk about the ring of fire. I was expecting this orange ring, around the moon.
Right.
Oh, no. It was the most spectacular, I can't even, shining, it looks like a diamond, just, and the rays coming out were just, It made me cry. I wept. It was so beautiful. And my body just, I believe it was in that moment that the release can happen.
Yes.
That darkness, knowing that, the light is always there.
There you go.
Behind the darkness.
I like that.
Was what was so spectacular.
Well, I love that you had a great experience. Like I said, hearing ups and down stories throughout the country and people having different thought processes on this. Mm-hmm. Being able that you guys went to be in the middle of it, where it was actually dark there, and in the middle of all of it, and you and your daughter and your grandson experiencing that with tears. Being able to hear that story just it brings something to your heart, knowing that, okay, this meant something different than, like you said, the people in the Navajo Nation that listen and their experiences. Mm-hmm. So, but positive experiences out of this, rather than, the theories the next day of why this didn't happen, why that didn't happen. You come here on Friday talking about this today, it's just like, wow, okay, this is what we want to hear. Not 100 million different theories online on what happened and what didn't happen, but the feelings that you guys got and knowing that ride back to Georgia, you guys probably were just talking about it and just talking about the experience.
It was actually such a, difference. Stark difference in going there and coming back. Right. Going there with a car full of children. If anybody has children, they know. My son-in-law was the driver, and he was constantly, be quiet, sit down, keep your hands to yourself. Are we there? Several times. I got to go to the bathroom. Yeah, and we actually broke the trip up. So when we drove there, we stopped at, of all places, Tuscumbia, Alabama, so we could see the Helen Keller Museum.
Really? Awesome.
And it was beautiful. It was dear to my heart because I had a experience 19 years ago and just wanted I began learning sign language and all, trying to help those who cannot speak. And I watched The Miracle Worker. Wow. And it touched me so deeply. I had my children watch it, and unbeknownst to me, my oldest daughter, Heather, who was with me during the eclipse, was traumatized by the movie. Wow. Because she was so young. Mm-hmm. She saw it. They had Ann Keller, they had Helen Keller's hair all disheveled, and she played her part so well that my daughter almost saw it more of a psychotic, almost a horror flick, I guess.
Oh, okay.
She was scared of her.
I could see where a child would do that.
And her little sister, who, sisters do that. They're only like 16 months apart, and her little sister would walk around the house going wah 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 with her hair in front of her.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did. And of course, I didn't know the horror movie The Ring had come out about that.
Yes, exactly. That movie. That was a scary movie.
Yes, and it had to do with water too. But what we learned there, my daughter was able to overcome that trauma, and we all, it was like, wow. It was because she wasn't born blind, deaf, and mute. She was 19 months old when she developed rheumatic fever that took her sight and her hearing and everything.
Exactly.
And what happened at that moment when Ann Sullivan was pumping the well water and just kept signing water in her hand, and she said, Wawa. It was her 19-month-old child.
Right.
She tapped into her memory of herself at 19 months old, understanding water.
Right.
And that was the catalyst that flipped, turned Helen Keller back on to being human. She began, because she ran around, touching, what's this, and wanted to know, how to sign everything. And from that moment on, became,
very successful.
Oh, she advocated for the blind and deaf.
Yeah.
And became, such a beautiful, heroic person that we look up to for blindness.
Exactly.
And then my daughter mentioned something about it, and we all started laughing because she said it's funny how we started this at the Helen Keller Museum because people say if you look at the eclipse you're going to go blind.
Right. That is the word on the street.
Right. And so we didn't. And on the ride home, we spent the night there in Tuscumbia. So
okay.
And so we broke the trip up going to Arkansas, but we drove straight through on the way home. And the 9.5-hour drive turned out to be 11.5 hours.
Wow.
In the car with those children.
Oh, wow.
Not a peep.
Really?
Not a peep. Not once did they ask, are we there yet? How much longer?
Stop for the bathroom.
Once. It was quite fascinating, the change that was witnessed in that. I mean, just that. Because it was the next day. We spent the night in Arkansas after the eclipse.
Right.
Made a fire. The beautiful thing was we did this very consciously.
Right.
We rented a little place called the Hippie House.
Ah, no, you like that.
In Arkansas. And it was in the middle of a big cow pasture.
Right.
So cows were coming up, to the fence around us. And we were all by ourselves in the beautiful Ozark Mountains in Marshall, Arkansas. I didn't realize how far north we had really gone. 40 miles from Branson, Missouri.
Right.
And it was just, we were alone with Mother Nature.
Yes, Mother Nature.
With Earth.
Yes.
And we were able to connect to Earth. And that morning of the eclipse, even the children, I passed a candle around, and we all put our intentions for the eclipse into the candle. In other words, we're about to, die to the life that we know in this moment.
Right.
How do you want to rebirth your new life from this eclipse? And so the children, they were so cute. And they spoke their intentions, and we passed the candle around, and then I lit the candle, and it stayed lit all day long. And then we built a fire that night and wrote what to release from our lives. That, the moon brought in that darkness for us to see, because it was all lit up.
Right.
That we needed to let go of in our life. And we all burned a release into the fire that night.
Wow.
So it was really, really beautiful. It
was sounds like a great weekend.
It really, truly was. And like I said, a magical experience.
Right.
I am very happy that I did it.
Right.
It was something that... to witness it in person, because I know my mama saw it on TV and said it was so beautiful.
It was.
And I said, yes, it was, Mom.
Right.
It was, it moved us. It really, truly did.
Well, as good as the kids were being, I bet your daughter was like, I wish we had more eclipse. As good as ever been.
Yeah.
But so it sounds like a great family trip and an experience. and everything. And like I told you at the beginning of this broadcast with you, it's great to hear the positive story come out of this without so many people going, you're just here all happy and everything. Poor Bruce over there, he's got to follow all this with you. You know, I don't know how he's going to follow it up. You know, I had the glasses on, Don, but I didn't see it like that.
You know, also, I'm sure that the Navajo Nation and others might be able to help with this, because I've never really witnessed a total eclipse this way.
Right.
Where I had my glasses on and I watched it from the very beginning,
right.
You know, through the end.
Through the end, yes.
In the beginning, when the moon began to touch the sun,
right.
It looked like a giant eyeball staring down on Earth.
Well,
because with glasses, you know, it's orange, right. And then it had this black pupil.
Right.
It looks
right.
like a pupil. It really looked, the roundness and all was just, I was like, it looks like a giant eyeball. And then as the moon got closer, of course it was like the Cheshire cat smile that the moon shows us sometimes at night. The sun did it. But it was a frown. It was an upside down smile.
Right.
And then the totality happened. And of course the beauty, you know, the cows were mooing, the birds were making noise, and you know
they were happy.
Yes,
okay, thank
they
you.
were singing.
I wanted to hear that.
They were singing.
So many people were trying to say that they were going to go crazy, but you just proved them wrong. Thank you.
Yeah. No, it was quite, you know, it
was
beautiful.
They were singing. The birds were singing.
They were singing.
Awesome.
And then as it started going back, you know, across the sun, I looked at it and I went, oh, it's a smile now. And then as it got towards the end, the eyeball was looking up towards the heavens.
Right.
And so I was like, wow, that's got to mean something.
Yeah, I think so. I believe it's a rebirth. In the Native American tradition, it's definitely rebirth, and they do a lot of praying and chanting during that time, because it's getting rid of, just like it's getting rid of the negative,
right,
and bringing in positive,
right,
and so it was sad when it came, and it was happy when it was leaving.
Yes,
because it shared its experience with you.
Mm-hmm. And I also saw it as the Son represents the Father. Mm-hmm. And the Father is always looking down upon us.
Right.
Always watching. And then we, as humans, look up to our Father.
Right.
So that was quite fascinating, you know, with the eyeball.
It looked, wow.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It was really, really awesome.
That was definitely an experience that like no other, that you're going to remember, and the grandkids are going to remember the rest of their life. Because they'll be around when the next one comes, 2045 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So will I.
Yes, of course.
Whether or not I'll travel for it, that is yet to be seen. But
you're going to travel. You're going to be the one in the front seat going, let's go.
Yeah, it was, I am so happy that I did that, because it did, for me, I listened.
Right.
And that is the key. That we were talking about, how the choices that you make are all, there is a consequence to every choice. And the beauty of being human is that we have what is called free will, which is actually choices.
Right.
And with those choices, we are led on a path. And the path may not be as smooth and easy as we had thought it would be when we made that choice.
Exactly.
And perhaps the other choice would have been a smoother and easier path.
Exactly.
But we never know. unless we begin to be still and be quiet.
Wow.
And go within and listen. Because we always have that guidance within us. Who we are inside our spirits that's what's guiding us. And
Right.
that is what is connected all the time to our Creator. All the time.
Wow.
Every one of us has that within us, and we're all connected.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
This has been a fun Wisdom Cafe today. I'm going to tell you that.
Yay!
This
Thank
really
you.
has.
Yeah, it was beautiful to share. Thank you. I enjoyed that. I do have just a couple of things to mention. Thank you, everyone, for being here at the House of Light Wisdom Cafe. I would like to share with you our happenings at the House of Light. We have quite a few beautiful things coming up, the first of which is on Sunday, the 14th. This week, we're doing Tuning In Together. And I'm so excited because I didn't do it last month. We ran out of Sundays. But Sunday the 14th at 2 p.m., I will be doing Tuning In Together. We'll rediscover the frequency of forks, tuning forks, and how they can help us heal our body and get back into that balance that I was speaking about. And then on the 16th, we have self-care through acupressure with Karen, who is our acupressurist. That class is full, however. Wow. So just stay tuned because I'm sure she's going to do another one because it was so spectacular. People just they signed up and it filled up within 1 or 2 days. Wow. But next Friday, on the 19th, at 6 p.m., we're doing an intro to palm reading. So if you've ever wondered about your palm and what it says, or are just curious as to what is palm reading, we have a class for you at 6 p.m. on Friday the 19th, Intro to Palm Reading. And then I did want to mention, on the 22nd, we're doing a big community event, Ryan. So,
really?
Yes. Earth Day at Greenville Street Park. Okay? So, Phyllis Graham, who was the owner of Let Them Eat Toffee here in downtown.
Yes.
She is helping to organize that along with, I believe it's Councilman Alfonso.
Okay, yes.
Yes, they came together, and we're having the first annual Earth Day at Greenville Street Park. It will be at noon, from noon to 1 p.m., and then at 1 o'clock until 3 o'clock, the House of Light will be there, as well as many others, just offering things for you to do. Tanisha is calling them wellness stations.
Okay.
Yes. So it'll be fun. It's going to be exciting. We have a great program from 12 to 1 p.m. at Greenville Street Park. We are going to celebrate Earth Day. Use it with the tagline of Sacred Earth, Sacred Self. Because as you know, we are Earth.
Right.
We are
awesome.
All a part of Earth. Earth is our mother. So please join us. Thank you so much. If you'd like any more information, please contact Ryan here at WQEE 99.1 FM, or you can contact the House of Light at 470 414-6711. That's 470-414-6711. Thank you all.
You've been listening to the House of Light presents the Wisdom Cafe on 99.1 FM WQEE. The House of Light, a wellness center at 29 Jackson Street here in Newnan, is a place for people to relax and find true healing. For additional information, 407-414-6711. Remember to tune in next week for another healing message from the House of Light presents the Wisdom Cafe right here on 99.1 FM WQEE.